will be co-chaired by Clerk of First City Court Donna Glapion and veteran progressive organizer Linda Woodle. The statement said, over the summer, yard signs bearing the Helena Moreno for Our Future slogan began appearing on supporters' lawns. We all know and knew that New Orleans has a potential to be extraordinary, Moreno said in a video spot. But right now, even the ordinary trips us up. I'm ready to bring real change and build a brighter future for all of us. Born in Mexico, studied at South Methodist University in Texas, and arrived in New Orleans as a young broadcaster reporter after finishing college. She became disillusioned with New Orleans' political leadership after covering Hurricane Katrina and its aftermath, as according to the 2008 Times-Picayune profile. She entered politics that year by challenging Bill Jefferson, the U.S. congressman who had won his ninth term in the 2006 under the specter of federal corruption probe. The video announcing Moreno's mayoral run described her coverage of Katrina, featuring clips of Moreno covering the storm with former DSU chief meteorologist Margaret Orr, who appears in the video to support of her campaign. In quotes here, it says, why I had to get off the sidelines and into the fight. This is the reason why. Katrina made me get off the sidelines and get into the fight. Unsuccessful in her 2008 bid for Congress, later claimed a seat in the Louisiana House of Representatives, where she served from 2010 to 2018. At the state capitol, she became a face of efforts to reshape how state laws treat victims of sexual violence. She moved from the legislature to winning her seat at large at the New Orleans City Council in 2017. On the council, Moreno led efforts to regulate Energy New Orleans, secure higher wages for city employees, and relocate residents of the polluted Gordon Plaza subdivision. She has helped negotiate fund deals and colleagues in the state legislature where she once worked. And she built some important political alliances with Vice President Kamala Harris and former U.S. Representative Cedric Richmond and U.S. Representative Troy Carter. Her announcement Wednesday championed what she described as an era of unprecedented independence by the city council. Allies in the city's legislative branch have clashed with Cantrell's administration by securing more authority over mayoral appointees, forcing out a top Cantrell aide, and putting their stamp on deals to secure major project funding. Her campaign announcement hinted at what polls and political analysts suggest there's a lack of enthusiasm for the city's current administrative leadership. In quotes here, it says, New Orleans needs to get back to the basics, back to making our city truly work for everyone. I believe we need 24/7 leadership to get things done and to once again make the people of New Orleans the priority. These are her words. But what you think? What's her shot? Does she have one? What you think? It's kind of early. I guess they say the early bird gets the worm, huh? How you feel about it? Who else should run? Who else should run? Love to hear your thoughts. 504 582 9422. 504 582 9422. Love to know who you think should run as well. Because she's early. She's very early. But is it time? January, February, March, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September, October. So we're talking about what? At least 10, 11 months, nine, 10 months of campaigning. That's about right. About 9 or 10 months of campaigning. But who else is going to run in this race? Now, I can tell you who I'm hearing, but they have not announced. Oh, everybody tells me they like, well, ain't OT running? I hope everybody understand until they tell you they're running, they're not running. Until they make the formal announcement, they're not running. I can tell you that I hear they're running. But what I hear is not the definite decision. Now, if somebody tell me, did you hear that Helena Moreno running? Mm-hmm. She told you herself. Already did her video, already made her announcement, already filed her paperwork. Did we hear that OT was running? Mm-hmm. Did we hear that Royce Duplessis was running? Mm-hmm. I hope that you understand, because I don't need y'all going back and saying, well, Gerard said on the radio that you running. No, ma'am, no, sir. I didn't say that. I said what I heard, what I hear, what has been gossiped about, what has been around the water cooler at work. That's what we hear. Does not mean that that is necessarily so. There is a difference between the two. So did I hear that OT, Oliver Thomas, might be running? Mm-hmm, I did. Did I hear that Senator Royce Duplessis might be running? Mm-hmm, I did. Did I hear that former Judge Arthur Hunter might be running? I did. Did you hear that? Did y'all hear these things? Y'all just gonna leave me out here by myself then, huh? Who else have you heard? And who else would you like to see jump in this race? Because my estimation, my guesstimation on this, I'm not gonna say estimation, my guesstimation on this is probably you're gonna see at least 8 or 9 people get into this race. 8 or 9, yep. You're gonna see some serious candidates, and you're gonna see some that are not serious at all. They just in it, have no chance in hell to win, but somebody done bucked them up and made them think that they can get in this race and win. Did you hear that these folks were running? You don't know until they pick up the phone and call me and say, gee, I'm running. This is what I heard. The only one of them that I've named that I have not heard and is running is Helena Moreno. She made her announcement. First one to make her announcement. But who would you like to see get into the race and run? Who would that be? 504 582 9422 is the number. Come on, we need to really discuss this, because whoever that person is, they got a big job. Whoever that person is has a humongous job. And I don't know if everybody that I'm naming in this plethora of names to step up can handle that job. Because it's going to take somebody with the resources to get what we need done. Well, what do you mean? So I want to break that down today and what we're looking at. What's your expectations? would you like to see the city budget go? What's going to be and who's going to be the person to say, okay, cool, I need to give you an example of this is what we're going to do in our first year, our first 100 days. Here's what we're going to do in the first year. Let me also give you a lineup of the streets that we're going to fix, how much it's going to cost for us to get all of this stuff done with sewage and water board. We got these new streets that are being paved right now. And can we expect you to keep up the progress? Don't just get the streets paved because we have Mardi Gras or we have the Super Bowl coming. I need my streets paved because I deserve it and I pay taxes. How about that? Now. All right, 504-582-9422 is the number. I can't wait to hear what y'all going to talk about and what y'all going to say with this one. But we got to take our first break here. We'll take our first break. We'll come back, have some more conversation with you in just a minute. Everybody, get it in. It's Political Wednesday. Yes, it is. More coming up in a minute, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey, that's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. For all of our folks on Facebook, you're wondering what's going on. We apologize. We're having some technical difficulties with our Facebook page. But you can get us on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page. Our YouTube page is WBOK 1230. And you can get us there. Go to YouTube, YouTube TV. No, not YouTube TV, but YouTube. Just go to YouTube and pull up WBOK 1230. Now, I'm going to go to my Facebook page and post, because I'm actually trying to post on my page. They got it so I can't even post on my page. How the hell I can't post on my own page? What's going on with this? Y'all hacked my page too? Damn. I can't even post on my own page. But y'all can go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube and put in WBOK 1230. You'll see me sitting up there live and in color, sitting up there having some conversation. And you can also chat. All right. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button so that you'll have it from now on. Because we want to know when you in there. We want you to be able to get in there and do what you do. And there you go. So, I saw something. And I went, what this all about? And I don't know if anybody else, well, you know what? This probably be for that world that everybody know about. And if you know the world that I'm talking about, you're going to start going, uh-oh, when you hear me read this story. The New Orleans Business Alliance, NOLA BA. Y'all know NOLA BA? It's the city's quasi-public economic development nonprofit. It's going to shut down in early 2025 and transfer its current projects to other city agencies and regional economic development groups. Board members voted to dissolve the organization on Tuesday, and according to a news release and subsequent letter posted to the group's website by CEO Louis Davis and board chairperson Gilbert Montano, Mayor LaToya Cantrell's chief administrative officer, NOLA spokesperson Ellie Schmidt, said that after evaluating 2025 revenue, the board determined that there is not sufficient support to continue the operations. What? The organization's 7-person staff and its programs were funded through both private grants and public funding, which have sagged in recent years. The city contributed $450,000 during the fiscal year beginning in August, down from $900,000 a year earlier. And according to figures provided by NOLA BA, in 2020, the city provided the nonprofit with $2.5 million, according to its annual report. The announcement marks the end of a 14-year run for the organization that was created under the Mayor Mitch Landrieu administration and his local economic development efforts. Through NOLA BA, billed itself as the only accredited economic development nonprofit focused specifically on New Orleans, it was often overshadowed by the Greater New Orleans, Inc. folks and the city's own Office of Economic Development. In the prepared statement from Montano and David, they touted a number of recent investments and programs that were aimed at creating jobs, supporting workers, and thanked local philanthropies and corporate contributors. They said that they were working to help find new jobs for staff at other economic development agencies. This decision, while difficult for NOLA BA's board, staff, and partners, represents a positive step forward in ensuring economic development funds are utilized as efficiently and effectively as possible. Cantrell, who is a member of the board, did not respond to a request for comment made through her communications team. The board's public meeting schedule showed its last gathering took place in November of 2024, November 12th, and during which it planned to discuss a board nominating committee and sublease for office space. The board was set to meet again on Wednesday, according to a post agenda, and it doesn't appear that a meeting was announced for Tuesday. Well, NOLO has dealt with leadership changes in recent years as it faced a significant drop in grants and other contributions. In 2021, Norman Barnum took over for Quentin Messer as CEO and proposed changes in its governance, aiming to replace Montano as board chairperson with someone from the private sector. But that plan never came to pass after Barnum resigned in 2023. Norman resigned in 2023. Following an allegation that he inappropriately touched a woman at a work event. The result of an investigation were inconclusive, and Barnum declined to discuss the allegation, though a source close to Barnum said he resigned due to a toxic relationship with City Hall, and he denied acting inappropriately. Norman. You know I know, right? Let me just say that. Norman had vision. Norman, you were at work. You ain't never had that problem before. You was sit up. You was sit up. You was sit up. From the get up. You was sit up. From the get up. I'm trying my best not to tell everybody what had happened was. But what had happened was, and what's going to happen? Well, I can honestly say that this Economic Development Corporation did some good stuff. But when you are the Lone Ranger and bigger fish are looking at you and you a guppy, and you doing big things. Nola BA was doing some big stuff. And the other organization was looking at you. And you not the big guppy. So what do the big fish do to the little guppies? What do the big fish do to the little guppies? Come on, I hope y'all follow me on this one. What do the big fish do to the little guppies? They devour them. They end up swallowing them. They devour them. Interesting, huh? Interesting. So, what do you see in this, Gerard? Tell it like it is. Well, I always have to start my line off with allegedly. Or I have to say what I heard, don't know. Because what I heard was that not only are y'all going to have to shut it down, but y'all going to get devoured and somebody else going to take you over. Who could that be? The bigger fish. Well, who would be the bigger fish? What do you think? Y'all sit back, just listen to all the tea. Y'all ain't even saying nothing. Who could that be? I don't know who he talking about. Yes, y'all do. Y'all know exactly who I am talking about. Y'all know exactly. But you'll hear about it. And you're gonna be like, oh, this is what happened to Nola BA? Mm-hmm. We know what happened to him. But what you're gonna get is a new organization. Or they're gonna be swallowed up into another organization, which I would say wants to be that economic push. They want to be that economic development push for the city, and they the big dog. So what do? You work toward shutting them down and then taking all of their funding along with their programming and bring it to you. Who's going to be listening? That's what's going to happen. And that's what's going to happen. So get ready. It's coming. And it's coming quick. So Nola BA, no more. I was trying to see when they were going to do the, what dates they were going to have for them to shut it down. Here's the other story that I thought I would share. And I think everybody should hear this. An all-boys charter school in New Orleans is going to shut down at the end of December, forcing about 100 students to change schools. The Dolores Taylor Arthur School for young men is going to close on December 31st after the school's leadership agreed to stop operating the school, which the Orleans Parish School Board has sought to close due to serious financial challenges. Sylvia Johnson, whose son is a junior at the Arthur School in Gentilly, said during a board meeting Tuesday that the mid-year closure would set back the school's 98 students. You're ripping it from in the middle of the school year, she told the Orleans Parish School Board, which accepted the school's voluntary surrender of its charter. Now they got to go to a new school, a new curriculum, and this is going to be detrimental to their grades and their progress. In a separation decision, the board voted Tuesday to close the Dr. Martin Luther King Charter High School for SciTech after the school year ends in May. What happened? Yeah, they get ready to close down Dr. Martin Luther King Charter School. The Lower Ninth Ward's only public high school, struggled with low enrollment and poor academic performance. Dale Simeon, a counselor at Martin Luther King High School, said the decision could destabilize the students. When children are a part of the community and they are disrupted, he said, sometimes they never recover. So the school board member, Olin Parker, commented at Friends of King, which operates the school, and said, we're going to commend them for their service to the Lower Ninth Ward since Hurricane Katrina. It was one of the first groups to reopen the school after the storm. The board will allow Friends of King K-8 campus to remain open for a 3-year contingent contract. The school parish board said also that they poised Tuesday to consider an emergency suspension of the Arthur School, which opened in 2019. The action would have forced it to immediately cease operations. The Arthur School's board voted Monday evening to turn over their charter on December 31st. The move follows months of financial struggles due to declining enrollment and the end of federal pandemic relief funds and a reduction in state funding, according to the school founder and CEO, Byron Arthur. In a statement, Arthur said the school boards had explored several options to keep the school open, but each would involve layoff and would ultimately hamper, not help, the educational development of our young men. We also commended students for earning what they said was the highest combined ACT score of any open enrollment charter school in the city and for competing at high school debate tournaments across the country. We're proud of what we have accomplished in a short time, but we are heartbroken that we will not be able to see the school's year through. Though the Orleans Parish School Board did not take action on the Arthur School, several students, parents, and teachers spoke out on Tuesday's board meeting as well. This is not the closing of a building, one mother said. This is the erasure of a lifeline. Student Jamal Wilson told board members that the school's closure removes a comfortable home for tons of students, every student there, every teacher there. As Wilson spoke, 4 other Arthur School students in the audience stood in support. Parker, the Orleans Parish School Board member, said the school's leadership was to blame for its abrupt closure. That is a failure of the adults who are leading your school, he said. It is unfortunate, but it is the reality. The Dr. Martin Luther King Charter School is also going to remain open until the end of the school year, just to let you know. So, I guess my question in this whole scenario of doo-doo, y'all know that's my favorite word today. This whole scenario of doo-doo. Why do we continuously have schools that fail? And this has been since 2005 when we started up these schools, these charter schools. And does anybody ever hear or heard, or is there some type of formula that would stabilize schools? Y'all try to tell me we spending all this money and we don't have a formula that works to keep these schools open. If you're going to open them, keep them open. We don't have a formula. We don't have something to say, hey, it looks like y'all headed off track here. You need to get back on track, so y'all need to do this. We just closed the school. Screw the student. I was actually supposed to, and it was my fault. It was really my fault. We had a news story that happened that day. I was going to have my good friend, Reverend Ricasner, who is the assistant principal at Martin Luther King High School, to come on and tell us what was happening. But I couldn't get to him that day because we had so many people calling in about another subject. And I told him, I said, I'm going to have to postpone it. Can we do the next day? And he had something else he had to do. So I never really got a chance to talk to him. But y'all think about this for a minute. Think about it. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just being a little bit out the box, thinking out my head, maybe for looking for solutions. I've never seen a school system that's so worried about its performance scores, performance rates, that it does not have an alternative. Now, we got alternative schools, but we don't have an alternative plan to get schools in line if they're wavering from success. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? Does that make sense? Meaning, yet, think about something. If I'm the person sitting at the school board and I got several schools in my district and I'm the school board representative, wouldn't it be in your best interest to be able to tell that school board operator, hey, look, we need to make sure that you all are following protocols, the agenda, the learning, and follow that to the T to make sure that you're on point when it comes down to our kids taking these SATs and the rest of these, I think, illegitimate tests. We don't require that, though. Keep them in tune, keep them in track, but we don't require that. It's like, you messed up, close them down. You messed up, close them down. We don't want y'all no more. And do we know the history of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. School? Do we know the history of that school? Like right after Katrina, when it was toe up from the flow up in the lower Ninth Ward. How many folks wanted to reopen that school and got out there and cleaned them up, cleaned the school up in themselves? They cleaned the school up themselves. They didn't wait for FEMA. They didn't wait for those hazmat companies. Those folks got out of their house, put on their shrimp boots, put on their plastic gloves, went in there and cleaned that school up themselves with all that mud everywhere. They washed down the walls. They dehumidified the whole place. They made sure that everything was taken care of and opened that school up themselves. And now you're going to tell me, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to shut the school down. Just the history alone should take your hands off of it. But I will tell you this. That building is not going to sit there and be collecting dust. What? I said, boy. That building is not going to be sitting there collecting dust. Y'all never been down to Dr. Martin Luther King High School? You been, Jared, you ever been over there? You never been there before? That's a beautiful building. It's beautiful. That building, I don't care if they say we're going to shut it down or not. That building is not going to be sitting there collecting dust. I just want to know when they're going to make the next announcement of what school that's going to end up being. And who's going to have the charter? Will that be the Jacobs' brother? Whom? The who? The who? Who? Did I say that? Would that be the brother? Shh. Be quiet. Be quiet, Gerard. You can't say that. Shh. Rosenthal. Oh, shh. They got more money than God. Here's another one. Oh, bro, I got number T today. Y'all should have never let me come on here. I should have just stayed away from today, huh? Because I feel like Louisiana, Lipton. So The question has been, and the question still remains, why Miss Avis left? Hello? Well, why Miss Avis left? Did Miss Avis just get up and say, I've had enough, bitches? And say, I'm out of here? Did she say, that's it, I'm out? I know it hasn't been but a year and a half, but I'm gone. See y'all later. Of course not. Of course not. She ain't do that. So why Miss Avis left? Somebody tell it before I do. Did she really have the blessings of the shadow government? When she said, you know what we're going to do? I think we're going to open up our only and first controlled run school. We're going to run it ourselves. We're not going to have no charter on it. We're going to open it. Did she really have the blessings of the powers that be? Who's the power to be? The shadow government. Maybe I need to do a OPSB as the OPSB turns. Here's the other question, though, Jared. Here's the other question. Do you think that $36 million that was called a quote-unquote accounting error was something that they just discovered? How long would there have to be for you to find $36 million missing? Y'all know if 36 cents is missing from my bank account, I'm having a baby right now. I'm just like, I done popped one out on the floor. Ploop, right there. They would have, spank it on the ass. Because I'm sitting there saying to myself, you telling me that y'all made an accounting error of $36 million and just woke up one day and went, oh, 36 million. Oh. Or did you stand up and say, hey, this money missing? And they went, time for you to go. And got your money, got your contract, paid you out for the remaining year and the other 2 years on your contract. Plus they gave you another year to say, see you, we won't be you. And you looked at it and said, yeah, it's time for me to get away from you. Because the funding for the school system hadn't come through yet. So the funding for the school system was not given to the Orleans Parish School Board until she said bye. The minute she said bye, boom, there go the funding. Who could push that through? Who could push that through? Leslie. That's that. We got to take a break. All right, we'll take the break here. Coming up, the final hour of the reality check for a Wednesday. That's that. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Look, who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Gerard Stevens with you. Final hour of the reality check for Wednesday. Man, don't we have some issues going on in the French Quarter? Gerard, you know better than to talk about the French Quarter. You know what that means to the city. No, I don't. We got some issues that are going on in the French Quarter. But sometimes, just sometimes, you have to look around and say to yourself, where you live can really make things work. Be called an emergency or not work, and we all sit there and suffer. What are you talking about? Y'all think about this for a minute. Y'all remember when we were going through our issues with trash pickup? What were the issues that you had in your neighborhood? I'm talking about your neighborhood. I'm not even talking about the French Quarter. What were the issues you had in your neighborhood? Because I can tell you what the majority of the folks were saying. Oh, they had folks that had their own pickup trucks that were going out to different locations and picking up people's trash and taking it to the transfer station. Y'all remember this? Well, we forget real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Y'all remember we had to take our trash to the transfer station. Put it in the back of the truck. Why? Because we had COVID, and we had all those folks that were on the back of the trucks that were striking. They were like, man, we ain't doing that job until we get some more money. All right, how did that go? Well, you had the owners of the trash company, or should I say companies. You had Alvin Richards from Richards Disposal. And you had Jimmy Woods from Metro Disposal saying we need a meeting with the mayor. So there was a meeting that happened, and they said, look, with all this stuff going on with COVID, now I'm talking about, I'm saying this in layman's terms. This is not necessarily anything verbatim. But they were saying, look, with all this stuff going on with COVID, everybody at home. And with everybody staying at home, there's more trash. There's 2 and 3 times more trash to pick up because everybody's at home. They can't go to work. They're stuck. They got all this stuff going on. Everybody eating all day long, and they got trash. So the amount of trash that we're picking up is not conducive for our contract, which is costing us more to continuously run back and forth from here to River Birch, which is out in Avondale. Think about that trip from New Orleans East in a trash truck from New Orleans East all the way to Avondale. Think about from Uptown all the way to Avondale. Think about Lakeview all the way to Avondale 2 and 3 times because you got more trash to pick up because everybody at home. So they went to the city and said, hey, city, hey, Madam Mayor, we need some more money. Could you please release emergency funds so that we can pick up this trash and not let it cost us an arm and a level, because now we're starting to get into a situation. And if you talk to the owners, they said it fell upon deaf ears. So what did that do? We had everybody in the city complaining because their trash started sitting there in the garbage can, on side the garbage can, for a number of days. And then your days of pickup weren't really your days of pickup because the trash companies were saying, nope, we ain't going to do it because, we need more money to go out there and do it because we should be able to get those emergency funds too because you know what we are? We're probably first responders. And we should be getting paid first responders compensation because we out here in the middle of COVID picking up trash and we're not being treated like we are first responders. So we ain't going to work. So what had happened was you were sitting there all day long waiting on your trash day for somebody to come pick up your trash and nobody came. Then what did you start getting? Rats, rodents. You couldn't really go eat no crawfish because you put them crawfish heads in that trash can. It'd be stanking 96-degree weather. Because it's just sitting there weeks at a time. So the mayor wouldn't give them, at that point in time, the emergency funds. Why? I don't know. But I'm just repeating what was told to me that they asked for those emergency funds and it was not given to them. So since it wasn't given to them, your trash was not picked up. And then you had those young men and women that, because look, I went over to Richard's Disposal out there off of Gentilly. I went out there. I filmed them. I actually got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and went out to Richard's Disposal when those young men and women, notice I said young men and women, come into the office to grab that truck and go hit them areas where they got to go pick up trash. Because I wanted to see for myself. And they got some women that know how to handle them trucks. They are the drivers. I was like, what? You go, girl. So, after that was said, well, what y'all gonna do? Ain't too much we can do except use the men and women that we have that are coming to go and pick up the trash. Then the mayor opens up the transfer station for folks to be able to take their own trash into the transfer station and instead of letting it sit in your neighborhood, you can put it in the back of your truck and go to the transfer station and dump your own trash. Then what did we see? Then we started hearing rumors of, I'm tired of this, people tired of this, so we're going to rebid these city contracts for trash pickup. And next thing you know, there's this little trash company that says, hey, I'll help out. I'll go into some of your neighborhoods and help you out. And by the way, I'm going to bid for your area, by the way. I'm going to bid for your contract. And I'm more than likely going to get all of them. And then there's this new contract that comes out with an 80% increase with this living cost of living, fuel, the whole deal. And the current contract holders are saying, wait a minute, that's not fair. That's not what we got. And then Cantrell looked around and said, but I didn't do that deal. I'm doing this deal. And so with all that being said, I had to refresh your memory. While all of you were having to go get your trash taken to the transfer station in Uptown, the transfer station in Gentilly, the transfer station for New Orleans East, while all of you had to put your trash cans in the back of your pickup truck and take them over there because you didn't want to have the stinky stank on your street, there's a new story that came out today that made me go, What? And it has to do with the owner of this radio station, Troy Henry, who, by the way, I need to let everybody know is not, and it's not something secret, but let you know, he's suing the city. So the mayor is seeking emergency bids for sanitation services for the French Quarter and Downtown Development District, seeking a preempt to a delay in trash pickup in the heart of the city's tourist zones after the city council refused to back a long-term deal that was previously proposed. The existing sanitation provider, Kellermeyer Bergeson Services, is already working under an emergency contract that expires on December 23rd. But the administration on Tuesday issued a request for new bids that work, which are due Friday, after council members said last week that they would not agree to pay Henry Consulting $73 million over 8 years for that job. So guess who's suing them? Also on Tuesday, Henry Consulting, owned by business owner Troy Henry, sued the council to try to force its hand. It's unclear how the lawsuit's going to pan out, but Henry Consulting won the contract in July after a competitive solicitation, but the council balked at voting on it. After Henry replaced its initial subcontractor, Richards Disposal, amid a payment dispute, and after other bidders cried foul over the process. Cantrell, who is required to get the council's approval before executing a contract over $1 million, kept mum last week about what she's going to do. Local leaders expected the mayor to hire an emergency provider to forestall any sanitation delays in the quarter and downtown ahead of major events, such as the city's New Year's Eve celebration, the All-State Sugar Bowl, and the Super Bowl. It's interesting, though. An emergency contract, an emergency provider to do all of this stuff, because we don't want any delay. But your neighborhood was getting rats and raccoons coming up to you. You thought the raccoons lived next door. You were like, what's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing? They sitting up in your yard like they belong there with the delay. What'd you say, James? James? We miss him? James coming back. I don't know what happened. Coming back. But anyway, I'm looking around and saying to myself, was this treated the same way? Was it treated like you wanted to be treated when your trash, if you did not live in the French Quarter, when your trash was not being picked up? You had to put your trash in the back of somebody's truck. I ain't talking about no trash truck. I'm talking about a pickup truck. And take it to the transfer station. Well, do you expect them to do the same thing? Nope. But if I live in the French Quarter, I'm looking around and saying to myself that these businesses, I shouldn't have to pay, or my tax dollars shouldn't go to businesses to pick up their trash. What do you mean? I'm saying, shouldn't a business have its own contract with its own trash or sanitation provider and not be paid for by my tax dollars? Are we picking up just residential trash in the French Quarter? If so, why is this being called the French Quarter and the DDD? The Downtown Development District. That's businesses. They make money. Ain't nobody asking no questions. See, that's why I can't run for office. I won't run for office because I'm stupid and ignorant and will ask these questions, and then they be looking at me like I'm the bad guy. And then I be done call somebody a couple of names. But why are we not having delays in your area town, but we had weeks that we had delays because we had the stanky stank. I think that's a good question that somebody need to be asking. So, what's the emergency bid for Kellermeyer? Now, this is the current sanitation company down in the French Quarter, right? Kellermeyer is the one that's handling it right now, and they were like, "We out. We're not going to do this contract bid anymore." So it's not clear how much the city will have to pay for the emergency contract, but it does look like that emergency contract for this extension for them to pick up the trash is in the neighborhood of about $4.4 million. The administration is hiring an emergency firm amid a legal dispute between Henry and Richards' owner, Alvin Richards, over whether Richards was entitled to the fixed rate garbage pickup that Henry included in his proposal. I will say this. And I don't have a problem saying this. I don't have a problem saying this to either one of these gentlemen because both of them I know. Y'all know I know Troy, and I've sat in Richard's office several times and sit down and talk to him. Mr. Richards has always been a friend of mine. I hate to see on a business proposal that there be a dispute between the two of them. I know that over the years, there's always been a support mechanism there between the two of them, and I hate that this is something that is come between them, not only in friendship, but I would say in a working relationship, because now somebody's suing this one and this one is suing this one, and it looks like while y'all are fighting it out, that the money gonna go somewhere else. I hope y'all listening, because if the money goes somewhere else, I think both of you all are going to miss out. But who am I? Henry Consulting replaced Richards with Clean Force, which currently oversees garbage pickups in the area, at a lower cost than Richards was slated to receive in Henry's award. Another vendor, Ramelli Waste, has filed a bid protest over a nearly $500,000 per year increase negotiated into Henry's contract after it was awarded. Citing those issues, the council refused to sign off on the deal. Cantrell needs the council's approval to move ahead with the Henry contract per ordinances that the council passed in her second term. But on Tuesday, Troy Henry challenged the council's ordinance in court, saying it violated the city's charter, which he has and says gives the executive branch the exclusive right to solicit and award contracts. The laws do not authorize the council to cancel, delay, or otherwise contravene a contract contributed by or executed by the administration, Henry's attorney Alan Miller wrote. The lawsuit also says that Cantrell signed on a deal on Monday, even as her office has also issued an emergency rebid of the work, and even as the ordinance requires council approval for such contracts. The Cantrell administration did not respond to any of the questions. This story goes on and on and on and on. Who would have ever thought that something as stinky, dirty, and disgusting as trash would separate folks from being friends or business partners? I don't know whether I should look at them with both eyes, or should I look around and hold my nose and one's fine with me. I hope they get this straight. I really do. All right, we'll take the break here. We'll come back, have some more conversation. Oh, I got some more news. Yes, I do. We'll get some more news in just a minute here. Y'all hold on. You're more than welcome to call in and get your opinion in too at 504-582-9422. That's 504-582-9422. More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight. We'll tell you where to go just in case you haven't figured it out yet. Where everybody is talking right now on YouTube. Yep, WBOK 1230. Go there on YouTube. You can check us out live right now on WBOK. More coming up next.
Norman Robinson is back,
Can you hear me now?
and he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230
The
AM.
New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
My name is Caleb Henry.
And I'm Eli Henry.
On behalf of the Henry family and Equity Media, we want to wish everyone a happy holiday.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks, welcome back. Coming up today at 4 o'clock, Sports Report is on. Make sure you get your sports information. Coach going to be in the air chair. No telling who he's going to have on as a guest today, so make sure you check him out. Coach Satcher is going to be here at 4 o'clock, so hopefully you will be in tune to the Sports Report only on WBOK. For those of you that have been trying to get us on Facebook, let me go ahead on and tell you we are having a couple of technical difficulties, but that's okay. As far as Facebook is concerned, you can still get us on YouTube Live right now. Right now, just go into the search engine, go to your YouTube and go to the search engine and just put in WBOK 1230 and we pop right up. You'll see the live right there. You even see people now having conversation just like Jacqueline and Deacon Pellin and Deirdre and all those folks that are having conversation right now in the chat room. So you can also join in right now on YouTube. You can get us that way. All right, make sure you do that. And thank you so much for tuning in. What are we going to do in the next, how many days is it? It's 21 days in January, and I would say less than 45 days, 45, 50 days. I am hoping that folks are not going to just lose their mind and really just want to move away from the United States when we see this man getting ready to take over on the 20th or 21st of January. Is that bothering folks? Because they're telling me that people having counseling issues. Y'all really going to take counseling on this? Y'all really taking counseling? I was surprised. I was really surprised to the point where I'm hearing folks are needing counseling sessions because they don't know how to accept the fact that we're going back to a Trump-led administration for the next 4 years. Are you kidding me? Are we really taking counseling? I think some of us need counseling anyway. But I'm looking around and saying to myself, I know y'all not going and really taking counseling because you're scared of what's getting ready to happen next year in January. And are we having a problem? Are you having a problem? Let's find that out. Are you having a problem with Joe Biden saying, I am going to give my son a pardon? Are you having that problem? 504-582-9422 is the number. All right, Roby. Hello.
Hello, you there, Gerard?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. First of all, to answer that last question, I don't have a problem with it. It's expected. Once he realized, once he understood he wasn't winning the presidency, of course, I would have done the same thing. So would you and many other people of your listeners.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear a lot of folks saying, "Well, he lied. He lied. He lied. He lied. He lied."
He lied.
Yeah, are you hearing that?
Yeah, I heard that, but look, I don't understand why he didn't understand. Obama understood it. Oprah understood it. A lot of backers understood they was not going to let no African American, Port Indian American, whatever you want to call it, Kamala Harris win the presidency. I was under no illusion. Gerard. I never was calling your show. I listen to you all the time. You know, we talk. My sister calls in. I wasn't under the illusion, man. The white supremacists and racists, they're never going to allow nothing to disrupt their system of white supremacy and racism. They're not going to allow it to be weakened. Any decision they make is only going to be to further improve it or to strengthen the system. So sometimes we talk about stuff, but we know we who are knowledgeable in this, who follow the Honorable Neely Fuller Jr., some of your followers know who I'm talking about. You know, he and Dr. Francis, but she rest in peace, Francis Cress Welsington, sat at his foot. We know this system, man, and we need to stop. There's only one answer, and we know what that answer is, man.
So if that's the case, and that's the
it's a revolution, Gerard, a revolution.
But
a revolution required one thing, and I'm not going to say that word.
I understand. Yeah, but hear me out
you
on this part.
You understand where I'm coming from. I'm listening.
If we thought that way now, why folks didn't think that way before and Obama won?
An illusion of inclusion. That's all under the system of white supremacy and racism. Once you understand it, what it's designed to do, you understand all these games they're playing with us, man. They're never going to weaken the system. The white women showed us. They blame it on the black male vote, Gerard.
But how did
the black male vote didn't fail us. You know that.
But how did Obama win?
He was Obama was smooth. I don't understand. Even I don't understand the
You don't
game they
understand
play.
that one
I
either?
think it was all designed to do. Cause who they got out under Obama's regime? Gaddafi.
Yep.
Let's go back there, Gerard. Let's go deep with this stuff now.
Well, they did give Obama some leeway, but I think that Gaddafi had contacted the Nation of Islam and let Farrakhan
When he was trying to replace the currency, when he was trying to replace the currency, U.S. currency with the deniers, right?
With deniers, but he wanted to give him $1 billion and say, help your people. And Farrakhan, from what I understand, Farrakhan went to the federal government and said that they wanted to accept that money to do something for African Americans, and they told him that he had to turn it down.
And under whose presidency did he get it?
That was Obama.
They killed him. They murdered it. Come on, man. Come on, Patrice Lumumba, Stephen Biko. I'm a student of history, Gerard. I've been following you and listening to you for years. You know me. I don't want. That's why I wrote it down. My sister might call and she's listening. But I called in and about that woman for running for mayor. Give her a chance. I haven't said nothing yet. You know, like you said, I listen to you, Gerard, because you speak it. You stir some stuff sometime now. You stir that pot. Look at G-Man. He about to do it. He doing. He already know the answer to the questions that he's asking, but he wants the callers to call in and say something.
I want to hear what you think, because me telling you what I think all the time, I might be wrong. I'm not afraid to tell nobody that I can make a wrong choice just like anybody else.
All right. I ain't going to hold you too long. You got to call. Let me tell you. Let's sit back and enjoy this ride with this idiot. You know, I was offshore. I was working offshore when he first won. I came downstairs. I went to bed because I was off shift.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, them white folks couldn't. White boys from Alabama, Florida, Mississippi. You know, I'm working offshore, Mariner. Mm-hmm. They couldn't wait till I came down the next morning. They cooked too. They should have been thinking I was gonna poison their food. But I come downstairs, man, and look. They told me the boy from Florida. Look, G-Man, the boy from Florida told me a retired Coast Guard working chief engineer. He told me, Gerard, listen to this. He said he won. Just like in that Sunday old Florida draw. I looked at him and said, y'all put that idiot in office, y'all gonna get what y'all get. Get my 4 years school right.
You got to go back. They thought you were gonna poison their food.
They should have thought I was going to party because I went to bed. When I went to bed, Hillary was winning, bro. I ain't lying, dude. I come down 4 o'clock in the morning. They're sitting down in the galley. They said, they're waiting for me. I think I might have been the only black on the boat out of 10 of us. They're waiting for me. He won. I looked at him and said, y'all going to get what y'all get with that idiot.
Yes, indeed.
And one of the white boys said, he rich. I said, he just a rich idiot. I promise you. I said, he did. And look, did my prophecy come through? Look what he went through. 2 impeachments. All kinds of Batman, boy. But look, I tell you, listeners, let's get ready for this ride for 4 years. Keep yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially intact. Mm-hmm. And you too can weather this storm because it's going to be a wild ride and we're going to be laughing.
But I'm hearing a lot of folks that just saying they can't cope. They even got it now that they got a cruise company that's offering a cruise that you can get on in January and be on a cruise and go through the whole world for 4 years.
4 years. Y'all talking about that on the show. But they said, damn, it costs more to house the prisoners at OPT per year than if you do the math. Y'all know what kind of cruise they're going to be on, G-Man.
I'm like, what are you going to go on a cruise for 4 years for?
Gerard. Mm-hmm. After Ida, when Ida struck and we lost Cox cable in the city, at that point, I let my cable go. I don't even listen and look at the news. I get a little bite of it. But see what Marcus Garvey say? Propaganda is designed to destroy your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions. We got to stop. Our people got to stop self-traumatizing themselves by looking at that news media. Look, you don't have to look at the news. Get it from G-Man, because G-Man going to tell you about it on this show.
Yeah, we're going to talk
about it.
When you
listen, when you tune in at 1 o'clock, we're going to talk about it.
We got to talk about it. You got to do it.
We're going to talk. And just call in if it's bothering you. And G-Man, we're going to be all right, bro.
We're going to be all right.
The most hilarious
if you're telling me we're going to be all right, we're going to be all right.
America is going to show you I am race.
Yes, indeed.
Let me tell you, man, if you look, bro, whatever they do are allowed to be done. All these movies coming out around Christmas time with the black air. I might go see all this stuff. The fighter, the woman fighter. Tell us about our academic achievements and the stuff we do. Man, I'm not fooled by that, G.
No.
I'm going to continue to listen to it. I'll call in when it's relevant.
I got
That's
you.
all I have to get my say in, bro.
All right, my brother.
Appreciate you, babe.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, G, man.
Take it easy.
Take it easy, babe.
Yes,
all right.
indeed.
Bye-bye.
He said, stop worrying about that. People about to lose their mind. They need counseling. I was talking to a friend of mine. He's a counselor. I'm not gonna call no names because that's a violation of somebody's rights when you call their name and talk about counseling services and all that other stuff. But he was like, he had to call me and tell me. He's like, man, these folks done lost their mind. I'm like, what? How they lose their mind? Said they're losing their mind behind what's to come in January. I said, well, why would they think that's going to affect them? Said because they're scared of what's to come. What's to come? What do you mean what's to come? Oh, you gonna see. And then even on the state level, you got a lot of them on the state level that's getting ready to do the same thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then y'all know I had another answer to that. I said, y'all worried about what's coming on the state level? But y'all didn't go out and vote when they passed all those amendments. Well, it's not going to do anything for me. Okay. George.
Hello?
George.
Man, bro, I don't know what they're running from. You ain't talking about the black life, bro.
What you talking about?
Black people life. We had a little run of feeling like we were unfettered freedom. And then we get this guy coming there, and he had the Project 2025 out there.
Yeah.
You had to know what was coming. And the joke is, I'm like my boy that was on the radio earlier. All that stuff Trump gonna do, he gonna piss off a whole bunch of white people.
You think so?
Man, come on, bro. He talking about cutting social services. He talking about cutting medical. He talking about, you know what I'm saying? White people get all that. We just get a little 10%, 20%, or whatever it is, 15% of it. We ain't the leading on the budget. We on the budget, always on the back of the reform charities or anything of that nature. We ain't never been on the front end of Medicaid, Medicare. That's just like when this governor ran for office. I made a joke. You couldn't make that boy say he was going to cut Medicaid. You couldn't even make him say Medicaid while he was running for office.
Yeah, but he ain't running no more.
Yeah, that's the point. He ain't said, but the first time he got that nomination, the first thing he said he was going to do is cut on Medicaid. Them white folk, that's white folk got all that Medicaid. That ain't black people. That's why he wouldn't even say it in his whole campaign. The whole time he was running.
Well, who do you think is the biggest?
Stick a dynamite stick up his butt and say, "Look, we'll take it out your butt. All you got to say is Medicaid." He took the hit.
That
bro.
one is nasty. I just want to put that out there.
He would have took the hit.
But who do you think is the recipient of Obamacare more than anybody?
White people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but don't call it Obamacare no more. Just call it the Affordable Health Care Act.
When it was called Connect Care, and they were talking about Obamacare, abolish it, and they did. And once they abolished it, they realized Connect Care was Obamacare. Boy, they got a Democrat governor for the last 8 years, bro. Yeah, right. So this is a black life. These are new black people is what I call them. You know what I'm saying? These new black people who might be talking about leaving the country and losing their mind and stuff. They don't come from the back of the bus with the sign, bro. Them the ones who telling you, quit telling me about the sacrifices. That's the ones losing their mind.
We gonna see. We gonna see.
Yeah, bro. Buck, I'm going to say like my boy, if you listen for the people power, baby, if you listen where the power in the hood, homie, all you got to do is be checking the WBOK, Gerard Stevens, G-Man Stevens, on the reality check at the 1 o'clock hour with Jazz on the backboard. You're going to hear the back facts you need to know for the next 4 years.
Goodbye, George.
I love you, man.
Hey, Ms. Matthews. Ms. Matthews?
Oh, hey, Gerard. Good afternoon.
How you doing?
To you and WBOK staff.
How you doing?
Okay, I'm doing pretty good, and you?
Where you been?
Look, I've been around. Look, I want to say, as far as that pardon concerned, hell yeah, I'll pardon my son, and if we honest, most of us would. Who would not pardon their own child, you know?
Right.
Then
I was like, he should have said it in the beginning. Are you going to pardon your son? I would have been like, hell yeah, I'm going to pardon him.
Yes, indeed. I would have told him that from the jump because not only that, then in light of Trump done already said promise revenge, so who would sit there and let their child be at Trump's mercy?
I would
then as far as him talking about he lied,
yeah.
Trump been lying from day one, so what's the difference, you know?
Yeah, I pardon my son. I would give Fauci a pardon. I give Liz Cheney a pardon.
That's right.
I give all of them a pardon.
Yeah, preemptive pardons, they call them.
Just to make sure that they're going to be all right.
Right. Now, let me tell you something about that voting. I'm beginning to become a conspiracy theorist on this voting. Gerard, I don't know if it's not that we not getting out voting against some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? A lot of us listen to your show. We got a good understanding about the amendments from listening. And I know, you know, the older crowd that we do get out and go vote.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really beginning to wonder how accurate those numbers are. I don't know, but you know, it's beginning to cross my mind. Those numbers that they're giving us may not be accurate because most people, you know, are getting out, going voting, but it's like almost we voting, but you're not seeing a difference, you know.
No.
So I'm wondering. It's the same thing like what you mentioned with the superintendent. We live in New Orleans and Louisiana long enough to know we don't always know the fact, but we know when something stinks with that superintendent.
Well,
you know.
I don't know if this is a whole conversation, but I really am starting to hear. Some of my folks, I'll say that some of my folks are starting to say stuff like, "Has anybody ever questioned the vote and how Trump won and when they had all these folks saying that it was going to be close and it was nowhere near being close and all of a sudden he won all the swing states."
Remember all of the people who showed up at her rallies? Then all of a sudden for the vote to be off that much?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying, okay, Elon Musk, that AI technology, isn't he like one of the founders of it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's a founder of it, but that's what everybody's saying. That Elon Musk must have done something. I'm like, boy.
Look, I don't put it past him because Trump has proven he'll lie, he'll cheat, he'll steal, he'll do whatever he has to do to win. He don't care. So I don't trust what they say. But let me get to the most important thing that's really kind of disturbing to me. Mm-hmm. And, I know you say both of them are your friends. Well, I don't know either one of them personally.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do find sad, wasn't Richard one of the guys that was on the radio and we were all calling in support for him?
Yes.
Now, to me, I could be wrong, but this is the way it appears to me, like they using one black man to do in another black man. Because to me, if he was supposed to be a subcontractor, as Mr. Henry said, and they couldn't come to no terms, then that shouldn't cancel out Mr. Henry's contract. So I'm saying, and Mr. Henry, they left with the understanding that Mr. Richards was all right. Now, a couple of days later, he says apparently somebody contacted somebody on the city council, and here come the mess as usual. But the worst part about it, in the meantime, you got this white man from Ramelli getting on there talking about he was the number 2 bid, so he should get the contract. So I could be wrong, but it makes it appear like this man is being used so this other guy can get the contract.
Yeah.
It sounds like typical
play one against
dirty
the other.
Louisiana politics,
So you end up playing one against the other one.
Right, yeah, and have us angry with each other.
Right.
And I'm just saying, sometimes we can't allow ourselves to be used. I say because that's the biggest problem with politics in New Orleans. To me, we have enough black people if we stood silent and supported each other. But they usually will use one of us to do in another one of us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So I don't want it to be, because look, I know that they support each other. I've known in the past that they support each other, and they've been friends. As a matter of fact, when all that stuff was going on,
then why they can't sit down and come to an agreement?
I don't know.
Why would he? Somebody had to go to the media or to the city council or somebody for it to get to be this big of a mess.
So this I'm gonna just go ahead on and say it. This is rich people conversation, and that's above my pay grade. All I'm gonna say is what I said. I'm gonna try to stay out of it because both of them grown men, and I ain't gonna play with now one of them because both of them got a whole lot more money than I do, and that's rich people conversation.
And that may be true. It's rich people, but the way I look at it, again, the citizens gonna end up getting shafted because just like you saying, they about to pay out some emergency money probably more than what they would normally.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to put that money out. Okay, then when Mr. Henry sue them for them not honoring the terms of their contract, where that money going to come from? The citizens again.
Yep.
So I'm saying, okay, it's rich people, but in the end, it's the poor people or the middle class who end up having to pay.
I agree.
And that's the problem I have with it.
You're right.
It's just like with what you were saying with the police. Being moved to the building on Porter Street.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make more sense to build a whole damn new building than to be paying people that type of rent. And they think the citizens are too stupid to see. We can see it, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like we just don't have no power. And even when we do try to come together and vote, it's for some reason the numbers don't seem to reflect it. Because the people in New Orleans, we are tired of what we see going on.
Yeah. I agree with you.
So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say,
All right, my dear. I appreciate you.
All right. See you later.
All righty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Michael.
Hey, how you doing, G?
Good and yourself?
Good. Man, let me thank you for last week. You opened our eyes, my eyes in particular, to them agendas they had. Those opponents and voting this and voting that out. And what caught me, number 4, when number 4 say that we gonna take your property if you don't pay your tax in 6 months.
And then they're gonna change the terms. They're gonna change the terms as long. And right now it's 3 years. And I'm sorry, but evidently somebody didn't explain it to the remainder of the state because every last one of those amendments passed.
They sure did. I listen to your radio show every day, and let me tell you, you're the best when it comes to us.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Because the other radio station don't tell us a thing. When you talking about them amendments, I say, hold on. I'll pull on the side of the road. And I pulled because I really wanted to understand what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to reading this thing, in 6 months, if you don't pay your taxes in 6 months, they're going to take your house away from you.
Yep.
Who do you think that's going to affect the most?
Yep. It's going to affect us. And it's going to be here, East Baton Rouge, and probably Shreveport.
Black states in Louisiana.
Yes, that's where you have the most. And the reason why I think more so is because we got to go through so much rigmarole to, if your mama died, you don't have anybody else in the family, or you got siblings, you got to go through, dividing up the property, who's going to do what, who's going to pay the taxes, what's your percentages, and then you got to go through some other stuff. And then a lot of us be looking well, he ain't going to pay or she ain't going to pay, and I ain't going to pay. Guess what? Then your house sits dormant. Nobody's paying the taxes on it. And here comes somebody out of town that says, I want to buy that property. And they buy it at a tax sale. When they buy it at a tax sale, what you have is, I got to wait 3 years before that person gets the deed to the property. Now with that change in that amendment, I think that's number 4, They
Number
don't know
4.
what the time frame is going to be. They're going to make the time frame whatever they want it now. Whatever they want to make it.
Exactly.
So if I make it 6
And
months,
that's
guess
I'm
what?
saying.
Instead of me waiting 3 years, I get your property in 6 months.
G Money, I'm gonna let you go with this statement here. We got a little Donald Trump down in Louisiana taking care of us, and we got a big Donald Trump come January the 20th. But I'm not worrying about it, me, because I was raised on pork and beans and smoked sausage.
Not the pork and beans. I can understand the smoked sausage, but the pork and beans, bro.
Man, look, you get you can of the pork and beans and saute that smoked sausage.
Yes.
They're gonna fight you for that. You see, they're doing macaroni and cheese, big macaroni and cheese at these restaurants, and want to charge you $7 for them. Huh?
Yes, I'm gonna get you some chitlins then. How about that?
No, like that. Keep it chilling, bro.
That's too much. That's too much.
It's too much. But hey, man, on serious note, thank you and Jazz and WBOK, Hendry. And,
appreciate you, brother. Thank you for listening.
Man, I appreciate what y'all do, man.
All right, Michael. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'll talk to you later. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll take a break here. We'll come back. Get you ready for the sports report coming up at 4 o'clock. It's going to be all that plus a bag of dips and chips, y'all. Final words coming up. If you got a call, you better get it in now because my final words are coming next right here on WBOK.
Hey, everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do every Monday. It's Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
The ankle monitoring system in New Orleans is a disgrace, a dismal failure, and a public safety threat. People are being shot and killed. I see nothing being done about it. In my humble opinion, the whole damn system as practiced in New Orleans should be thrown out. Ideally, the ankle monitoring system, which uses electronic monitoring devices, is supposed to track the location of an individual under court supervision. It's an alternative to putting the person in jail, typically used for people on probation, parole, or awaiting trial. Time and time again, individuals wearing ankle monitors have been caught committing crimes while they're supposed to be under supervision in our city. The state attorney general ordered an investigation of the system back in July. The situation is just getting worse. Several days ago, masked gunmen drove through the French Quarter, opening fire in front of the popular Dickie Brennan's restaurant, killing one person and injuring 3 others. Police immediately tracked down one of the suspected gunmen. You guessed it, he was wearing an ankle monitor. 28-year-old Nicholas Morana is now being held on account of second-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder. He was wearing an ankle monitor for weapons charges and negligent injury, according to the NOPD. Officials from the company that keeps track of the monitoring system said Morana had violated the conditions of his ankle monitoring parole 40 times prior to the mass shooting in the French Quarter. The monitoring company told the news media that the violations were reported to the court, and that means he should have been arrested and put behind bars for violating his parole well before the mass shooting. Why didn't that happen, Criminal District Court Judge Leon Roche? Why didn't it happen after the first time, Judge, but 40 times? Come on, Judge. Judge Roche, if someone else is to blame or if someone should share the blame, we need you to tell us. Otherwise, it seems you're responsible for what happened. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Welcome to Chemical of the Month, a service of the community scientists and Rise St. James. This month, we're focusing on lead, a heavy metal that's dense, soft, and poses serious health risks. In Cancer Alley, lead exposure from industrial emissions or contaminated soil can significantly increase cancer risks and other health problems. Stay informed and protect your health. For more information, visit risestjames.org.
We all love surprises, but not if it's the flu or COVID. If you're 65 or older, vaccines are your best defense against severe illness from these viruses. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccine.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon to What's Growing New Orleans, hosted by Angel Vanderpool. What's Growing New Orleans is a weekly conversation about developing and growing Black businesses throughout the region. Brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank. There's freedom here.
New Schools for New Orleans wants to send a huge congratulations to all of our educators, students, and families of New Orleans for their continuous academic growth. School performance scores have been released from the state. For the first time in many years, there are no failing schools in New Orleans Public Schools. As a district, our performance increased by 4 points. In addition, Orleans Parish now exceeds pre-COVID school performance score for all students by 6.2 points. When you see a teacher, school leader, or student, be sure to show them some love.
This is the coach, Garrett Sashere. The Sports Report is coming up next on WBOK 1230 AM.
Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look. Who bring the power to the people, partner? Who bring the power to the hood home? Hey. That's that. Tune into the reality check. Look.
All right, folks. Just a couple of minutes here before I get out, and the news comes up, and then we got the sports report. Got my message back. I need to make sure I deliver it to you because you heard the commentary that came from Norman Robinson about the everyone that's in trouble, or the kids that are in trouble that are wearing these ankle bracelets, and it doesn't look like they're being really monitored. I mean, I'm just saying it that way. But I reached out to Judge Roche and asked him to come on and talk about it, and he told me that because of the canons and the laws that he has to follow, that he cannot come out publicly on the radio and have that conversation. But he said thank you for inviting him to be a part of it. But he is having a hearing in his courtroom on Friday in regards to the matter, and would love to see you or anyone else that wants to hear more about it to be present. That is happening in his courtroom on Friday. I did not get the information on what time, but I will be sending him a message back. And if you can't go, you can also join him on Zoom. So we'll try to get the link and post it so you have the link and you'll know exactly what time it is. Also on Friday, 9 a.m. in Section A, the Jamie Johnston case, along with her parents, will be there in Section A in criminal court if you want to go. So they want everybody to come. So make sure you do that. All right. Other than that, that's going to wrap things up for me on today. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. You have a great day. Be careful. Join us on tomorrow because we'll have some more tomorrow. Yes, we will. All right, everybody, y'all have a great day. Don't go nowhere because the sports report is coming up next right here on WBOK.